This guy walked up to me after the show. He goes, "Hey, buddy, I got a question." I'm like, "Yeah." He seemed pretty upset. He's like, "Your wife really Puerto Rican?" I go, "Yeah." He goes, "She better talk that English good." Yeah. And I go, "You first," right? And then he shot me. Being married, I love being married. Some things about marriage. When we got married in the Dominican Republic, we honeymooned in Peru, South America, came back, watched the wedding video. People gave us advice on marriage, right? Always go out. That was the number one advice, right? Go out, go to dinner, go to movies, come to a theater, watch a Jew tell jokes. That's how you celebrate your marriage. And I'm old-fashioned when I take my wife on dates. Like I open a door for her, I pay for her meals, I won't let her vote. Is that too much? Is that too old time? I don't know. Too old-fashioned. She loves, it's one thing I found out about my wife after I got married. My wife loves the show Snapped. Ladies, yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Men, you're like, what is the show? It's a show based on women murdering their husbands. That's every episode. And I walked out, this is after we got married, she's watching. I'm like, "Alice, how can you watch the show?" She's like, "I want to see how they do it," right? So I sat there as a good husband, sir, and I watched the show. As soon as it was over, she turns to me. She goes, "So Adam, how would you murder me?" I'm like, "What are you talking about? Like, I love you. We just got married. Give it time." She goes, "Well, I know how I would murder you." I'm like, "How?" She goes, "I'd poison your food a little bit each day." Yeah, so now I cook. Okay. When we got married, we had an agreement, right? If we buy something new, we donate something old. We're very fortunate people in America. We're very spoiled people. And here's the agreement. If I buy a new shirt, I donate an old shirt. If she buys new shoes, I mind my own business. That's where we're at. Yeah. We love the Hallmark Channel. And where my Hallmark Channel people at? Yeah, we got Hallmark people. Yeah, it's great, but the little give you a false idea of how hard marriage is, right? That's one we were watching. This guy goes, "Martha and I have been married 50 years, and every time she walks through, I still get butterflies in my stomach." I'm like, "Maybe you're having a stroke." Maybe. Let's see. Another thing about marriage, I learned that I don't own anything. Everything is ours, right? Everything ours, right? You know, you don't. It's just ours, right? For example, I love French fries. You know, I have a cry for help. And we're driving by McDonald's the other day. I'm like, "Alice, do you want any?" She's like, "I'm good." By the time I left the drive-thru, they're all gone. She's like, "Our fries." I'm watching TV. She comes in, puts on Wimbledon. I'm like, "What are you doing?" She's like, "Our TV." I'm like, "This stinks," right? I'm in Portland, Oregon doing shows. Girl walks up to me after the show, buying me drinks, wouldn't leave me alone, make it back to my room, call my wife, told her what happened. She goes, "Oh, so she's hitting on you." I'm like, "No, she's hitting on us. We're both pretty hot, I think." No. So we have a little boy. He is going to be 3 end of this month, and thank God he's so cute. Thank you, sir. My wife did all the work, but thank you. He's going to be, thank God he's cute, because if he wasn't, we would have been kicked out of restaurants a long time ago. He's wild. I took him to church. Right? We're Catholic, so we go to church, but sometimes we're just too busy not wanting to go. And he burps during this prayer, right? The lady in front of us turns on, she goes, "It's quiet. Have your son read the room." I'm like, "He's 2, he can't read." But we weren't sure what to call him. That was the thing. You know, we got to be careful with names, right? My wife wanted to go with biblical, right? Matthew, Mark, Luke. Those are good names. I like names that are in the Bible, but they don't use it anymore. Like Judas, right? And Pontius, and Barabbas. That's what we went with Sebastian, named after my hero, the crab from Little Mermaid. That's my hero. And one day we're at the park. He's about 5 months old, and this lady had misgendered him. She walks up, she goes, "Oh, your daughter is beautiful." I'm like, "Daughter, he's clearly a boy." I had to be nice to her. I go, "That's very kind of you, sir." Right? Have to be nice. Being a comic is hard. You're always on the road, always traveling. And this morning I left. I saw Sebastian at the table with Mom. I go, "Hey, buddy, be good for Mom. I love you. Gonna miss you." And he said the cutest, sweetest thing. He said, okay, bye. Gets it from his mother, that's pretty sure. Sure, I'm at my time. Almost done here. Thanks for sticking around. You guys are the best. Let's do this. I'm finding them like I'm too cheap to go to the doctor for checkups on my own. So when I take Sebastian for checkups, I just throw in stuff that's wrong with me in the checkup. At 2-year checkup, doc's like, how's he doing? I'm like, oh, he's a little, crabby, diaper rash, and he's always hungover when he drinks bourbon. Is that something? Read a lot of Dr. Seuss to him. I love Dr. Seuss. I think it's great. But if you read Dr. Seuss long enough, you're like, you know what? He's the original OG, right? To hip-hop guys. Because hip-hop guys change words to make them rhyme. They make up words. Dr. Seuss has been doing it forever, right? So I play this game with the audience. Is it hip-hop or Dr. Seuss? Let's see if we can work it out. Let's see if you guys are good at this. Easy one. H to the Izzo, E to the Izzy. Who was that? That is hip-hop, right? Jay-Z. Jay-Z. Another one is, your mind is frightfully geflupted. It's Dr. Seuss, yeah. How about this one? If you have an expensive weave, that's Bogetto. So also Dr. Seuss. That's his underground stuff before he went. I'm gonna get to these other ones. When we were trying to pick out names, that was a tricky one. Like my wife wanted to name our son Patton. That was the name of Patton. I don't like that name. She's like, why? Well, I had a student who was mean, and his name was Patton. So if I call him Patton, I'm gonna think of that student. She's like, well, pick a name that would bring you joy when you taught. I'm like, can we name him Summer Break? Can we do that? I have to be careful with my language. I say stupid a lot because I describe drivers in Cincinnati, and my son hears that, so he repeats it now. And so we're at dinner the other night, and my wife goes, Sebastian, where'd you learn that word? And he looks at me, and I look at him. He knows if he helps me out, he gets a lollipop, right? And he goes, me. He blamed himself. He took the blame. I'm like, I learned 2 things that night. My son is a good liar, and he ain't no snitch, right? His life motto is candy over everything.